Welcome to Croatia. So today, customization of the Rimac, one of the most exceptional cars of our time. I'm super excited. This is the man himself. This is Mate.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Great to be here. I'm going to take you into the configuration room.
I really like this one. This is like the Batmobile.
Mate, is that the way it's going to be eventually, or? So we just got to the testing site now. Okay, I'm going to take you into the configuration room. Adriano is the master. Adriano, right? Yeah,
yes.
He's the master designer. So this is going to be super cool to jump into this. And of course, I want to hear your comments as well, which color I need to go for. Well, we'll put that up in the video soon. You're ready to go?
Ready to go.
Put in there the Rosberg signature.
Yeah, okay. No problem. We'll do that.
Come on.
That's the kind of option we'll offer, the Rosberg signature option.
The signature edition, the colors are more vivid.
Red is also quite cool.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me more of the grays, please? You ran out of areas to be the best, so you decided let's be the best at painting. Rear wing, front flap, visible carbon. Yeah. Okay, so we've just come outside now, and we just used the opportunity of the car being here to put some colors down. And so we've got the grays here. No, grey, black, British Racing green, this grey here, and the reds. At the moment, I mean, let me know what you think as well, but at the moment I'm tending for the black. And then British Racing green, I don't know, I didn't find it aggressive enough. I want to go aggressive with this car, so I'm tending for black, and red is another option. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts on if you take one of these two or if you take another color. So comment below now. And now we're just going to finalize the computer to see what it looks like.
I really like this one. This is like the Batmobile, you know, like inside the Batcave.
So option 1, black car, dark grey Alcantara interior with aluminium rims and black calipers, and this is Mate's Batmobile as option 1. We've got option 2, sorry to say, but it's the Ferrari. Are we allowed to say that?
We are friends.
So option 2, we're friends with Ferrari. And you're not in competition either, right? Because it's electric,
not yet.
so not yet. Is there something you know that we don't know? No.
I have no idea. Can't say anything.
We've got option 3 now, so it's British Racing green with aluminium rims, and we've gone for level 2 carbon. So we've got rear wing carbon, front cooling duct as well in carbon, in shiny glossy carbon, everything. And the inside we've gone for a sand leather, which looks really nice, and it's like the ultimate British racing kind of combination, but like with style, with class. So it looks very, very cool. So comment below, please. I want to hear your option 1, option 2, option 3. Let me know, and it's black, red, or green. Let me know what you think. I'll be really interested, and you might deviate me from my kind of preference at the moment. So let me see what you think. Martin, your favorite?
I would say actually, I love the British Racing green. It looks really cool. It looks elegant and special.
But you're biased. You just made your car like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Adriano, what's your one?
The black one.
Black one? Berto?
Black one.
Really?
Black one.
So black, green, red. But I haven't decided yet, so let's see. So we're done here now, thanks a lot, that was really exciting. And now where are we going, Mate?
You're going to the other production location.
Mate didn't have much else going on, so he just decided to, just quickly in the backside, I'm just going to make the most high performance, most awesome electric mountain bike the world has ever seen. So there we go, just did that as well on the side. Mate, is that the way it's gonna be eventually, or
Yeah, with duct tape and everything.
with duct
that
tape?
comes for free. And all the buttons here to kill it if something goes wrong.
Oh shit!
This
Look
is
at
proper
that.
prototype.
Oh my goodness!
You'll see the proper car later.
Wish me luck on this one, please. I'm not sure this is a good idea. I heard Mate is nuts when he's driving himself.
So this is the first prototype, old one. You are going to drive a much better one, a much more advanced prototype.
Yeah. No, don't give it away! Don't give it away! I want to have the surprise. Martin was asking me how involved I was in the technical development of the car, and I just said, in the big things, not so much, but in the small things. So if you look at powertrain, for example, of course, in the big decisions, no, but in the small decisions, in the details, I was very, very involved. So as an example, the engine braking, it's such a hugely important thing for the performance on a lap. It needs to be ultra smooth, and the challenge is also that you're downshifting at the same time. So you're downshifting, you're changing the brake balance needs to change also with the software. So there's a lot going on, because if you get a little bit of a spike or a little bit of a step change on a downshift, as the RPM is dropping as well, or you get a just a spike or something that doesn't follow perfectly what's going on, and you have a huge brake load at the same time on the rear calipers. And so with that, to still have everything, because the end torque is important at the tire, as you explained to me before, not what's on the engine.
Yeah.
The end torque is the decisive thing.
Combination of motor
So you
and
have
engine.
motor plus the calipers, which are changing in temperature, and it's going all over the place, and that's the deciding one. And if you get a small spike or a small step change and you suddenly get more locking on the rear, tiny difference, which a normal person would not even feel, but you then suddenly get more surface temperature on the tire, it messes up the next 3 corners. So it's so crucial that was perfect, and there we were giving a lot of input as drivers to make sure that that's like absolutely perfectly smooth on the downshift, and always using the data to back up what we're saying.
I think you need to have a certain understanding of what is the limitations of the system, so that you can talk to the engineers. And
There was no limit. There is no limit.
okay,
If I say
Formula One, the definition.
no,
is
there's no limit. If I say the roll bar, I would need. I don't want any rear bar on just when I go on traction. Well, then they came up with a device that as soon as there was a squat on the
Okay.
car at a certain ride height, the roll bar disconnected.
Oh,
So you had the perfect traction, and it was just in that phase where the roll bar disconnected.
yeah, but you had to understand what the roll bar is, what's the role of the roll bar, and what happens when you disconnect the roll bar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have dynamic diffs. So I had three switches on my steering wheel. I had a high-speed diff for all high-speed corners, and I have a corner entry, mid-corner, and exit diff. So 4 diffs,
Okay.
which I can manually set from my steering wheel.
And why doesn't it do it by itself? It's against the rules.
No. So they can do it themselves, but they can only define each of the settings, and then
Okay.
you can still they can't change the settings from the outside whilst you're driving.
Why doesn't the car do it by itself? Because it knows.
That's against the rules.
Ah, that's against
And also the
rules.
car won't know. Only I as a driver can know what optimum is. The car will never be able to get that kind of understanding.
Yeah.
The artificial intelligence will never be able. I mean, we're still far away from it understanding oversteer and how much diff would help in that moment.
But it's pretty
was-
similar every corner. I mean, every time you go through the same corner, it's similar.
No, because in a Formula One car, every lap is so different.
Really?
Yeah, because you lose. Every lap you had 2 or 3 kilos less fuel,
Okay.
which already is automatically almost a tenth quicker. Then you have more tire wear. So those and more grip on the track. So there's 3 big changes every lap.
The driver loses body weight, but it just goes into the overall.
4 kilos I lost in 2 hours.
Yeah, but it stays in the car, right?
No, it's so hot in the car that it all evaporates.
Evaporates. Wow,
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so this is interesting with the hypercar. Taking the ticket, and it works. It's a super practical car, actually, as you can see. We have lots of active aerodynamic elements, and depending on the mode you are, the wings adjust. So this is like comfort mode. This is track. This is drift for maximum downforce. But also the flap under the cars change, and the flap in front, and all the cooling systems change as well. And the distribution of the power and everything changes in the car.
Okay,
It's
but
just
here you're doing it with a switch. You were just rotating that. But
Yeah.
in the real car, it's active, of course, no? Or it's the same?
Oh, well, it changes also when you drive, but
Yeah.
this is just
Oh, so
different
it'd be
mode.
track mode and then it flips everything up, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Track mode, but you can hear now in track mode, you can hear the cooling systems pull up.
Yeah.
So this is on top of the active aerodynamics, it changes the throttle pedal response, the steering wheel
Yeah.
response, the torque vectoring, suspension, everything is changing. You'll feel it later. So what you can see here is the monocoque of the car together with the crash structures. What is very special about it is you can see from here, so from the front crash structure all the way to the rear crash structure, it's one single piece. It's one part, but made out of 2,200 carbon fiber pieces. So, and you can see the rear suspension and the front suspension are on the same piece.
Yeah.
So it's the stiffest structure of any car ever made. It's 70,000 Newton meters per degree. Comparing to, let's say, a Le Mans car, Le Mans cars are 50, 60,000.
Yeah.
So this is stiffer than a tiny little Le Mans car. If somebody hits you from the side, you have a big door, then you have a lot of structure here, very stiff.
Yeah.
You have side airbag for the occupant, but the battery is very well protected in the area where it's really hard for a crash to reach the battery.
Yeah. So Richard Hammond, you're welcome. Right?
Yes.
Bring it on.
Exactly.
Matt is ready for you.
So we have the stations here, so the monocoques start their journey here, and we assemble different parts on the car here, and the parts are mostly produced either in this facility or in the other one where we were. So at the end come finished cars out. Then there we have a dyno to test the cars. We have calibration for the autonomous driving systems so that the sensors know where they are looking at, where they are pointing at. We can have a look here at the battery assembly. The camera, we don't go too close.
Okay. You're not allowed any closer.
Yeah, that's a safe distance.
Top confidential.
Yeah, we have lots of very new innovative things here, which we didn't really show in detail yet. So this is the battery pack of the C2, and you can see the whole structure is carbon fiber. It's 120 kilowatt hours, so it has lots of energy, but at the same time it delivers 1.4 megawatts of power. So it's quite simple to make a battery that has lots of range, or quite simple to make a battery that has lots of power, but having both together, that's really hard. And to make it light and safe and all of that other stuff. So here's the production line of the battery pack itself. The battery modules are actually produced upstairs. So the modules come finished from upstairs, and here it's assembled into a battery pack. This is still being made by hand because these are prototypes, but now we are also getting some automation here with robots that will help. So now without the camera, maybe I can show Nico a little bit closer how it looks like. Yeah, so Nico, when you configure your car, the configuration gets sent here, and these guys then make the interior. Unfortunately, we see dead animals parts here. I would encourage you to choose the vegan option, the Alcantara, but of course, if customers want leather, we cannot, forbid them. So it's an option, but I'm always rooting for the Alcantara option.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit surprised here because the black one also goes a bit grey somehow when it's Alcantara.
Yeah, that's why
I'm not sure.
That's why we need to make physical, samples.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is where the interior gets upholstered. All the little details, the stitching, the seats, the doors, and stuff like that. So, lots of love in the handwork.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So here we are assembling different pieces of the car, like little ones like the infotainment, for example. So this housing gets machined in our machine shop that you saw today, and the electronics get built in the electronics area. And then like the buttons, which you also configured, like how you want the buttons to look like, and the details of how it exactly feels is really important to us. But then if you look underneath, all the electronics of that even is also done by us, so the mechanics and electronics of it. So all the little details, they are all, even when you look underneath the part you never see, we want it to be beautiful as well. We wanted to have this distinction between the other manufacturers by doing these kind of things on our own. And this is for another manufacturer actually. You might recognize it or not.
Do you recognize for which car this part is being made, or are we going to give away a top confidential thing? We're okay?
Let's see if somebody guesses it.
Okay, so this is being done for another top confidential manufacturer here by Rimac. And let's see all the guesses. I want to hear from you. Which car and which manufacturer you think this is being made for?
So you saw the crash structure, and inside of that crash structure comes the cooling assembly. So this is cooling the front, the battery actually.
Yeah.
So this is cooling it when it's cold enough outside. But when you go really fast, then these flaps open up to reduce the pressure buildup. And then they also funnel the air towards the brakes.
Yeah.
But this is just one of many systems in the car. And then you also have a flap. So when the battery is, for example, cool enough and you don't need to cool it, then the flap closes and opens up that another channel under the car, because you don't need airflow, so you reduce drag when you don't need to cool the battery. This is another system of the car. So this is actually the hydraulics for the active aerodynamics and also for lifting the car.
Yeah.
This is pump for cooling of the rear powertrain, and this is the air conditioning to cool the battery pack. So when it's too hot outside, this air conditioning unit is only there to cool the battery pack.
Yeah.
But the problem is you use the energy from the battery to cool the battery. So
Yeah,
that's something.
what you said, yeah.
That's something that you want to avoid. So this is only happening when it's really too hot.
Yeah.
Then here the guys are assembling the gearboxes. So here we can see the rear gearbox of the car. Here are the internals. What you have inside is gears. It's like in a combustion engine car. It's just less complex. Then when the gearbox and the inverter is assembled in the motors, they come together here. So the gearbox in the middle, the motors on the ends being pushed together, and the inverter on top, and then they get tested before coming into a car.
Yeah.
And we can see how different it is in the front and in the rear. In the rear, the motors are outside, the gearbox is in the middle. If you look now in the front, it's actually the other way around. So in the front, we have the motors in the middle, the gearbox is on the side, and the inverter on top. So it's other way around because of packaging.
Yeah. How is Mate as a boss?
He is perfect.
He's perfect.
Yeah, it's very good when you have a CEO that knows everything about everything we do.
So where's the weakness?
You're talking about me?
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about you.
Perfectionism.
That's the
maybe.
weakness?
Maybe, yeah. It
Yeah.
can be a strength and a weakness at the same time.
For example, recently?
Getting the car to the level where Mate is happy, which is much higher than everyone else. So
That can sometimes be a painful process.
Yeah.
But it gets rewarded eventually.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
People appreciate.
At some point you have to stop. At some point it's like, enough is enough.
So who tells you when to stop?
Money running out of the account.
So the money says when to stop.
So when I started the company, I was just totally crazy about cars. I would buy all the magazines when I was a kid, like that I could get my hands on and read from beginning to end.
What was the favorite one? But one car.
The E30. I
E30?
love the E30 M3.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's the car I started with, the company. And for me, it's just like the first car that I would buy if I get all of a sudden some money would be an E30 M3. Yeah, I love that car. What's your favorite car?
I would probably say LaFerrari.
LaFerrari?
Yeah.
That's my second, yeah.
Probably because it's emotion. It's pure emotion. And,
It's a great car.
And the look is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great car. Yeah.
But of course, I haven't seen the end result of the C2 yet. Huh? So let's wait.
Will come soon.
Huh?
Yeah.
Let's wait.
So what I wanted to show you here is, I was going to Geneva and just sawing the curtains and wondering what's behind the curtains, what are they going to unveil and so on. And now being part of that is a huge thing for me. So if you look here, so here is the battery production for the C2 and for the Pininfarina Battista. But then just behind it, we produced the battery for the Aston Martin Valkyrie, behind it for the Koenigsegg Regera, and here around us, lots of stuff I can't tell you about. So there is a project for a German car company here, 3 projects for Hyundai over there, which we can't go into details, a few other European car companies from other European country that I
Maybe more southern direction.
He's very good with being vague. that's the best.
Yeah, so some, you know, and that's what makes me
Already
proud.
this lineup is the best of the best, so I think you're looking quite good.
But, you know-
Rimac is always in the best of the best, it seems.
But what's cool for me is like just here in 10 meters, you have like 10 different supercar and sports car projects
Yeah.
being built in the middle of nowhere in Croatia. so that's, you know, from a garage to here, that's what makes me proud that, you know, all of the big car companies are coming here to get their batteries and other components built in facilities that we built.
Impressive, impressive.
That's it.
It's really, really impressive. I mean, I really love the upper floor where it's just like one hypercar after another. You know, from the C2 to the Valkyrie to the Regera to the other ones. It's just insane. All the hypercars are just lined up there, almost like in terms of battery production. So that's really cool. And now we are finally off to actually driving the car in anger on the mountain road. Right?
Yeah.
Here we go. There it is. That's the most advanced prototype they have.
Amazing.